My favorite saying is, as one door closes, another one opens. Which is why, according to my chocolate advent calendar, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Welcome to Shave&Butcher, and thank you to Martin at YMMV Shaves for the joke. Oh, and I improved it ever so slightly. Righty, so in my previous video, I talked about shaving with a shaving cream and using a brush on my face without adding any water, just adding the cream on a damp face for 20 odd years, and not knowing that you could actually build a lather properly. So in today's video I'm going to try this out and make a bit of an experiment. So on half the face I will, God, my ears and nose are red. Electricity prices are on the up, so I've turned the heat off completely in the basement, and I was down there for a few hours, and it looks like I've been out in the cold. Anyway, yeah, so I will lather half my face with a cream with no additional water apart from a wet face to start with, and the other half, as I usually do, adding water and working up a lather, and we'll see if it makes much of a difference. Cream is the lovely Proraso Red Sandalwood cream, and I'm lucky enough to have two identical brush knots. Both are Maggard's 24mm synthetic knots, and the handles were designed and turned by Matti Lindholm. So there you go. We'll get those wet. So brushes are going to be wet with the water squeezed out. Is that how I did it? Yeah, sort of squeezed out. I'm trying to remember how I shaved when I didn't know how to shave. And at that time, I used Gillette multiple blade razors. Okay, so here's the cream. We're using yay much. Please don't fall off. I had the smallest brush in the world as well. Okay, so there is a bit of moisture, as you can see. Probably more than I intended. Okay. Shit. Okay, so this is the side where I add water. Okay. It's been decided. So this is where I work up lather the usual way. And I just realized I used as much shaving cream as I do for my entire face. So we'll be here a while. But isn't that fun? We can spend more time together. It's difficult to lather half your face, actually. Okay, so adding moisture. Rather silly to use that much cream. I will use a bit less for the right side of the face, otherwise it's going to be rubbish. So we don't want it to be rubbish, we just want it to be the way it used to be. Yeah, so I'll make the lather so that it's nice and peaky the way I want it to be. I will use a Feather Artist Club Chevette. Getting there already. It's a good little cream, this. So I'll use the same razor on the whole face. Yeah, this is mind-blowing experiment. So you can, when your kids ask you, What did you do tonight, Daddy? Well, I watched a man perform a rather pointless experiment. Oh, I'm sure it was interesting. Not really. He used different amounts of water with shaving cream, and then he shaved. Ooh, was it a revelation? No. And he made a fool of himself because he used too much water. It really is kind of tricky to do it on half the face. Well, not tricky and as deciphering, war messages during the Second World War. But, it's sort of tricky. Okay, so well squeezed out brush. Add a bit of cream, not too much. A bit too much again. Drop the lather into the sink. And then bugger off. There we go. What happened? I'm gonna mix it too with the other stuff. Okay, I'm adding just a bit more because I think I lost the cream. God, this is going really well. Aren't you glad you turned in? Oh, average watch time 30 seconds. But okay, I mean this is how it used to be. This really is quite very much how I did it. Was it as dry as this? I think it was. I think it was as dry as this. Yeah. And then the man said, this is as dry as it was. Yeah, I actually think it is. Okay. Most of the time I only did one pass too, actually. Okay, so proper lather, you can see visually, you can see the difference. So it really is the same amount of soap, just different amounts of hydration. Very slick as usual. And you can see a boom shakalaka movement with the lather falling off. Oh, there was no lather there. I know I said it doesn't make a difference, but it does. Soap is good. Huh? Voila. And we'll do the bottom part. Good lather, you can flick it. Well, some of it. World Cup in football is going on. Asian teams are gone today. Japan made it interesting, but Brazil was ridiculosa, as they say in neighboring countries. So that was very good, super slick. You can flick the lather off, it falls off the razor just by gravity. See if this makes a difference. In terms of slickness. Maybe a little bit. Not much though. You see, that's where there was no lather. There is a difference in slickness, there really is. but it works okay, and I have shaved with the straight without water. You see, I just rinse that and it doesn't quite come off, so I have to use my finger or something to make it go away, which is a good way of cutting yourself if you're not careful. So you notice a difference there. Slickness wise, you know, as again, you can shave without soap, or you can shave with coconut oil or butter. There is a bit of a difference in slickness. More properly hydrated lather, better slickness. But in terms of the quality of the shave and how close you get, it's the same thing. Okay, secondo passo. I don't know if that's Italian for the second pass, but Italian is so nice that even if you don't speak it, you just pretend. It's still beautiful. Okay, and the dry lather, is there any soap left? No. Okay, so this is mainly against the grain. And that's always the good test of a lather, a razor, what have you. So second pass, essentially with the grain, nice and easy, super slick. I'm trying to pay attention, you know, to what it feels like. When it's the sky, like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Putting a bit of alum stick on the hands to get a good grip. Beautiful. Okay, let's do this side. Pay attention. Well, to be honest, if this was a blind test and I didn't know which soap lather was which, I'm not sure I could tell the difference. And this is drier. I mean, maybe not, maybe the difference is smaller than on the first pass because you always add water somehow. But this is dry. And yeah, not really much of a difference, to be perfectly honest. Still hard to rinse off. Okay, under the face. This just feels very, you can see the difference, right? Okay, so concentrate and really feel what it feels like. Yeah, that is very slick. Okay, other side. if there's a difference, it's extremely small. Blind test? I don't know. Should do a blind test, but it's hard to lather up pretending you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so rinse and see what that feels like. Boy, they nailed the scent on this soap. Really, just as close on both sides. No irritation. Few weepers, I always get that with this damn razor. But closeness, the same. Post feeling, I think, will be the same. So is there a difference? It's very small. It's very small. So making a lather, adding water, having fun is mostly that, having fun. So at least with a Chevette, not much of a difference. You know, it's more interesting with a proper lather and easier to rinse the razor off, but nah, you can go either way. Okay, so I've tested it. You're welcome. Try and get that weeper with the alum. Thanks for watching. See you around. Stay sharp.